Let's pay homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable monk Liao Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Zhengkong. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Dubden Dorji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of the group practice today, Guru Rinpoche, Padmasambhava. Sumo, Tanzen Gatso, Duden City, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma instructors, Dharma tutors, temples and center directors, and all disciples present here over the internet. Good evening, how do you do? These are greetings in different languages.
Aishiteru. Shanai. Ora amico. Te quiero mucho. Sukoi. Ichiban. Kimochi ii. Jumi. Yapi. Purin purin. Konbanwa.
This evening we practice one of the 8 primary deities, Guru Padmasambhava. And Guru Padmasambhava was invited to come to Tibet by King Trizong Tze, primarily due to the Guru Santaraksita was already propagating Buddha Dharma in Tibet. However, the opposition power in Tibet was too strong. So Guru Padmasambhava Santaraksita suggested to the King Trizong Tze to invite Guru Padmasambhava, who was in India then, to come to Tibet to spread Buddha Dharma. Because Guru Padmasambhava had more transcendent power and had the capability to subdue or to win over the opposition power in Tibet. And also obstructions by the intangibles. So Guru Padmasambhava was in Tibet for about 50 years, disseminating Dharma there. The Tibetans defer to Guru Padmasambhava as Guru Rinpoche, which means the precious teacher or the precious guru.
那么你们看那个莲花生大师的印画。
So the hagiography of physical emanation of Guru Padmasambhava, in this book, it mentioned about the whole life of Guru Padmasambhava. It talks about the biography of Guru Padmasambhava. So during the early transmission of Tantrayana was primarily led by Guru Padmasambhava, and for the latter transmission, primarily by Guru Atisha. At that time, there were two cultures that influenced Tibet. One was from India, and the other one was from the Central Plains. So there were two cultures influencing Tibet. And the Tibetan characters came from Sanskrit and adopted to become Tibetans. And most tantric visualization starts with the sit syllable or mantra syllable. So it starts with the mantra syllable to transform into the main deity Yidam. So there are steps in the visualization. Generally, first you visualize the emptiness, and then you visualize the appearance of the sit syllable in the sky, which transforms to become the Yidam, the main deity. That's the steps in visualization. Therefore, you should know the mantra syllables or the sit syllables, either Sanskrit, which was used in India to visualize the Yidam, or you use the Tibetan characters to visualize the Yidams. Either one will work, because Tibetan characters were from or came from Sanskrit characters. That's why there are also steps in visualization. Some people visualize the Yidam directly, but actually they should first visualize emptiness or the sky, and then the sit syllable appears in the sky, which is the sit syllable of the Yidam. And it transforms to become the Yidam, the main deity. The Yidam was transformed from the mantra syllable. And the most important or the most fundamental mantra syllables are Om, Ah, Hum, the 3-syllable mantra. Om, Ah, Hum. Let me tell a joke. Late at night, this may not be funny. It's a joke that's not funny. A masked robber was robbing a gentlemanly man and stick his gun and said, "Give me your money." And that person said, "How could you do this to me? I'm a tax collector." And then the robber or the bandit said, "Then return my money to me." Is that funny? Sometimes we say those without permits are called robbers, but the one with permits are called the tax department, tax collectors. To be taxed is the norm. The accountants told us, don't say that you don't want to pay taxes. Paying taxes to the government should be likened to the greatest charity. Then you would feel at ease. So the government is the greatest charity in the country. A middle-aged lady went to see a doctor and to show that she's still young. When the doctor asked her about her age, she said 18. So the doctor wrote on the record, memory loss. The teacher asked me, is there a way where we can cure white hair? And Ming replied, sure. Every morning, shave your head. The best way to solve your silvery hair is to become ordained and shave your head. Have you ever seen my white hair? That's my solution to white hair. I forgot how to pronounce this name. Pronounce this Chinese character. From Indonesia. Shi Lian Jin. Is she here? A referent or master? Oh, master. Oh, I have memory loss. She's a 法师 or master. But it's okay, because at this age, it's normal to be forgetful. And I didn't do it intentionally, okay? Your disciple greatly admire Guru Buddha, your and Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva's vow to never become a Buddha before hells are emptied. Since the heavenly realms and the three lower realms are not conducive to spiritual cultivation, how does Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva salvage and deliver beings there? If our yidam is Siddhigarbha, how should we apply such a grand vow? Thank you for your advice. Question by Si Lian Jin. We refer to Siddhigarbha as the Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva with the greatest vow. And he appears in many different forms. In Tibet, he's holding a nectar vase, and this other hand is holding an auspicious grass. Is that right? The Siddhigarbha in Tibet, what is he holding? One is holding the auspicious grass, and the other one a nectar vase. Right? Do you know? If you do, please raise your hand. Right? Yes? You nodded your head. And the Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva in China is riding on the mythical animal with one leg called the listener. That's his pet. Every bodhisattva has his or her pet. Like the pet of Mahabrahma is the white geese. And the pet of Shiva is the white ox. And Garuda is the pet of Vishnu. Vishnu, the golden-winged bird. And the pet of Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva is the single-legged mythical animal, the listener. And he's holding an authoritative staff, and one hand is holding a bright pole. And then there's another form that's sitting on top of a lotus throne, holding a bright pole and holding a staff. That's how Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva looks. And he has this vow to never become a Buddha before hells are emptied. I think it would be very difficult for him to become a Buddha because it's impossible for the hells to be empty. Up till now, they are never empty. Hells are never empty. So, why is that? Hells are never empty. Because in human world, we can understand Buddha Dharma better, and upon understanding it, we can practice diligently. Otherwise, without understanding, it's impossible to cultivate spiritually. That's why it's difficult for the animal beings to cultivate. Have you seen a duck cultivating spiritually, or a chicken? So, the song, Old MacDonald. Old MacDonald has a farm. So the ducks Old MacDonald has a farm, and he had a duck, and he had a sheep. So they don't know how to cultivate spiritually. Or geese. In the animal realm, these beings, those who fly in the sky, crawl on the ground, swim in water, it's very difficult to cultivate spiritually for them. And in the hungry ghost realm, they are starving. That's also very difficult for them to cultivate. And in hells, just incessant suffering, especially the incessant hells, which is you suffer non-stop. That's called the incessant hells. It's not like the pain that it would lessen, it would decrease for a period of time and then it get worse again, but that's not the case. But in this incessant hells, the suffering is non-stop. It's continual. And that's called the incessant hells. It's very difficult to cultivate there. And you think that it will be easy in the heavenly realms, but actually no, it's difficult too. Because there's no time to suffer. They just have so much enjoyments. So why would they want to cultivate spiritually? They're just enjoying themselves. That's why Jesus stated, for a rich person to go to heaven is like a camel passing through the eye of a needle. You know, the eye of a needle, how small it is? How could a camel pass through the eye of a needle? Jesus states that because a rich man has too much enjoyments. Even in the human realm, it's difficult. If they have lots of power or lots of money, it's difficult for them too. They have great fortune. They have lots of privileges and power. They're just enjoying their power and their money. So that's why it's a very famous saying that Jesus said, that for a rich man to cultivate spiritually, no, he said, for a rich man to go to heavens is likened to a camel passing through the eye of a needle. So therefore, if in becoming ordained, you don't want to be too rich. We all call ourselves the poor monks and nuns. Because if they have lots of money, they don't want to cultivate spiritually. That's why you can only cultivate spiritually in the human realm, because there is suffering. Like when Sakyamuni Buddha gave teaching, he always said, human life is full of suffering. He's reminding everyone about suffering. And because you suffer, you walk the path of spiritual cultivation. And eventually you would affirm or attain the Tao. So if our yidam is Siddhikapa Bodhisattva, how do we apply this vow? If you're a Bodhisattva, you just give to sentient beings. All those beings in hells, hungry ghosts, and animal realms are also sentient beings. You transform yourself to become an animal, to be together with them, and to teach them the Dharma. So therefore, when Sakyamuni Buddha was cultivating bodhisattvahood, he was once the king of deer, the king of elephants, the king of monkeys, peacocks. Yeah, he was king of peacocks. Of course. So he also taught animals. That's the spirit of Siddhikapa Bodhisattva. Doesn't matter which realm you are in, you always help sentient beings there. That's the spirit of Siddhikapa Bodhisattva, and that's his vow. He's referred to as the savior of the netherworld. So he also teaches Buddha Dharma in hells. And Grandmaster once went to hells to teach Buddha Dharma there. I think I've written it in my books. That's the spirit of Siddhikapa Bodhisattva. So if your yidam is Siddhikapa Bodhisattva, then you can deliver and salvage sentient beings in the 6 rebirth realms. And you take the responsibility of helping sentient beings. So you can actualize your vows in these 6 rebirth realms. That's my answer to Si Lian Jin from Indonesia. Now I will remember how to pronounce his name, Jing. The words spoken by Ming Xiaoming. Every time I'm taking a history test, I'm very excited because I'm changing the history. I think we've told this joke before. Someone bought a cockroach spray and many cockroaches died. And afterward, there were more and more cockroaches. So he thought that the spray did not work and went back to the seller. So how come there are more and more cockroaches as I sprayed them? And the seller replied, when a kid cockroach dies, its families would come out looking for them, right? So that's the joke.
师尊有帮这个动物界超度，也有帮这个地狱道做超度。
So Grandmaster has helped Bardu deliver the animal beings, including cockroaches. There are many in Taiwan. They are huge in Taiwan, but in America, they are very tiny. Have you seen mice in America? Are they big or small? You know, the real mice in America is very tiny. They could pass through the gap under the doors. The big ones, they're called big mice. Are you telling jokes? They have a different name. Huge ones. Rats. They're not called mouse, they're called different thing. I used to live in Ganshai Ridge, up the hill in Redmond, East Redmond. And I hired the pet. What's that called? Pet control people to catch them. And they place the mouse traps. They're very tiny, like this, like as big as my thumb. So American mice are very tiny. And they could pass through all tiny little gaps under the doors. And so I killed many mice, so I Bardu delivered them. And recently, I Bardu deliver everything. And the pest control people caught about over 20 mice in the crawl space under the house. How come there's so many? But they told us this is not many, not considered that many. You know, in the other house, there were over 200 mice under their house. There are over 200. But we found over 20 at our house, and I thought there were very many already. And I Bardu delivered them. So the animal beings suffer greatly. We are very busy, so we rarely cook at home. So they always eat out. And today, the wife is cooking, so I feel very happy. And the wife asked, so how about the braised meat? Okay. And she asked again, how about the steamed fish? Just so. And she asked, how about the tofu? And I replied, almost there. And the wife complained, how come can't you say anything good? And I said, oh, the rice is so hard. In Chinese, it's like so hard, which is like good hard. So the wife cannot cook. Nothing is good. Wang told Zhang, what are you doing? Oh, I'm buying some face masks for my wife on the internet. Wow, you're so nice, so loving. Oh, don't undermine it. You know, face mask is only a few dollars, but it would keep my wife's quiet for at least an hour. So I want to buy. So you should buy more face masks for your wives. Then you would have some peace and quiet at home. Now we'll get on to the main topic, the Vimalakirti Sutra. The next Bodhisattva is Akasagarbha Bodhisattva, precious torch holding Bodhisattva, precious courage Bodhisattva, precious view Bodhisattva. 4 Bodhisattvas. 1. Akasagarbha Bodhisattva, precious torch holding Bodhisattva, precious courage Bodhisattva, and precious view Bodhisattva. So we are talking about these 4 Bodhisattvas today. This first one is Akasagarbha Bodhisattva. That's one of the 8 great Bodhisattvas. When we chant Hiking Avalokitesvara Sutra, we know of the 8 great Bodhisattvas: Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, Manjushri Bodhisattva, Samantabhadra Bodhisattva, Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva, Maitreya Bodhisattva, Akasagarbha Bodhisattva, Vajrapani Bodhisattva, and Viskhambin Bodhisattva. Manjushri already. Okay. The marvelously auspicious, that's Manjushri Bodhisattva, it's the same. Of course, this is in the Hiking Avalokitesvara Sutra. So, Akasagarbha is one of the 8 great Bodhisattvas. So, the great Bodhisattvas are part of this 52 Bodhisattvas. Later on, they are also Manjushri and Avalokitesvara Bodhisattvas. So, Akasagarbha Bodhisattva is truly a great Bodhisattva. He has attained or confirmed the space or the sky. And he also knows that all the Dharma is within the cosmic space. All the Dharma spoken by Sakyamuni Buddha is embodied in the space. So, like we all see, why do we have to write Lei Zhang Temple? What does it mean? The Temple of Hidden Thunder. Hidden Thunder. That's Akasagarbha. So when it is silent, it's complete silence. But when it sounds, that's thunder. So to spread Buddha Dharma all over the world, what is the loudest? Thunder. So when I was given this name, Lei Zhang, hidden thunder, is that when it does not make any sound, it is silent. But when it makes sound, then there would be thunder. And thunder resounds all over the world. So the meaning of Lei Zhang is that the sound of thunder resounds throughout the world to embody the true Buddha. So the true Buddha is hidden. So Akasagarbha knows that all Buddha Dharma is embraced or embodied in the sky. So the one that can confirm that all Dharma is within the sky, or the cosmic space includes all the Dharma, or all the Dharma is concealed or hidden in the cosmic space. So he can prove that his body can also conceal or hide all sorts of Dharma, all Dharma. So inside his body, there are pagodas, pure lands, and Buddha Dharma. All the Buddha Dharma is inside his body. Such a great Bodhisattva is called Akasagarbha Bodhisattva, Bodhisattva of the accumulation of space. His body is like the cosmic space, storing all the Tathagata Garbha. That's why he's called Akasagarbha Bodhisattva. Now do you understand the meaning? In the past, when we swam at the Topeng Kung, anybody here? Two masters here. In the past, when Grandmaster did the geomancy consultation, Nian Si and Nian Zu also followed me for the consultation. And then we went to Topeng Kung and swam in the river. It was hot. And after we swam, we went home. And my first Dharma teaching was also at the Topeng Kung, next to the stream there. And I gave a Dharma teaching of the Saddharma Pundarika Sutra, or the Lotus Sutra, on top of a water tower, giving Dharma teaching to my disciples there. Inside that river, I found a very strange rock, which I brought home. And I found the stone to be very, very interesting, very unusual. And then that night I had a dream, and the Dragon King appeared. So the water dragon god, or Dragon King, So there are ocean dragon kings, river dragon kings, stream dragon kings, and well dragon kings. So the dragon king also resides in wells. So the dragon king appeared and told me, "You took my palace." Oh. So the palace of that dragon king was in that rock. His palace is in that rock, that beautiful rock that I picked. So the stream dragon king's palace is in there. So the meaning here is very rare. Akasa Garbha, the accumulation of space. There are many tiny things that don't look nothing, but actually inside them there are many mystical and secrets in them. Right? Did it happen? Yes. I took the rock home, and the dragon king told me that it's his palace. So I picked a rock from that stream, and it turned out to be the palace of the stream dragon king palace. So that's why I said inside the rock there are also palaces and balconies and pavilions. It's the abode or the residence of a dragon king. Have you ever imagined it before? That is Akasagarbha Bodhisattva. Inside the body of Akasagarbha Bodhisattva, there is space, there is Tathagata. That's my explanation on Akasagarbha Bodhisattva. The next one is holding precious torch Bodhisattva. What is this precious? Precious means prajna, dharma treasure. The treasure of Sakyamuni Buddha is called prajna. And prajna can generate a kind of light, luminosity. Or you can say that wherever it shines on, then there would be brightness there. Wherever it shines, there would be brightness there. So this Bodhisattva has the treasure of prajna that can shine like a torch. So he's holding the treasure of Buddha Dharma and prajna just like light that would give brightness wherever it shines. So I don't know whether I should say this or not. It's related to politics, so maybe I shouldn't say anything. So and so is like the sun. There, wherever it shines on, there would be brightness. And so is like the moon, and it changes on the 1st or the 15th day. Is there such a statement? So and so is like the sun. Wherever it is, it gives brightness. And so is like the moon. It changes from day to day. So this holding precious torch bodhisattva is like the sun. This bodhisattva has the prajna light, and he carries this prajna light, and wherever he goes, there would be brightness there. And wherever this bodhisattva goes, that place will be very bright. Recently, I discovered something at my house, my residence, the Southern Mountain Retreat. Under my bed, it becomes a gathering spot for the ghosts. Right under my bed. So every time I got home and got to next to my bed, there would be a sound from under the bed. Every time I walk in, they would make sounds. So this is also the holding precious torch bodhisattva. So wherever I go, there would be sounds. But the holding precious torch bodhisattva is holding the light of prajna, of the Buddha, of Sakyamuni Buddha. Wherever he goes, there would be light. So this bodhisattva helps sentient beings so that sentient beings can attain or gain light and brightness. Now, do you understand? The next one is the precious courage bodhisattva. What is this precious courage bodhisattva? Because you have the light of wisdom, so wherever you shine, there would be light and brightness. So you have courage to move forward. Like Guru Padmasambhava that we just talked about earlier, that in Tibet there were many demons and goblins and all those strange spirits. So he was able to challenge all those demons and goblins and spirits all the way into Tibet, because he had Buddha Dharma, he had power. So by building the Samye monastery or temple, is that by subduing the yaksas there first before he was able to build the Samya temple. So the precious courage bodhisattva is like Guru Padmasambhava. He had a Buddha Dharma and transcendent power. He's not afraid of anything. All the evil spirits and demons and all the spirits could not win over them. They are very courageous, and that's the precious courage bodhisattva. Because you have the treasure, you have prajna, you have the great wisdom, so you can move forward with great courage and you're not scared wherever you go. And this kind of bodhisattva is called the precious courage bodhisattva. That don't go to a very dangerous or perilous places, like at my home, under my bed, they're all ghosts, but I'm a precious courage bodhisattva. You were there waiting for me to bardo deliver you, and you come out during the bardo deliverance, so I just sleep on it. So I discovered that there were many of them under my bed because it's quite dark. It was covered by the blanket. They didn't have any other space. It was full house inside the fridge, the cabinets. So now they hide under my bed. That was quite spacious. So when I got on bed, there were so many sounds under my bed. But because I have the prajna light, I'm not scared. So I sleep on the bed and I don't care about all the ghosts under the bed. I'm not afraid of the disturbances and I still sleep really well. And not only I sleep on my bed, I also sleep on the Dharma throne. As you all know, I can sleep sitting up. Of course, I can sleep lying down too. I can also sleep standing up as long as I can hold on to something. I can sleep anywhere. It's so easy for me to fall asleep. However, if I gather up my actions, I'm also very courageous. As long as I'm awake, I would be very courageous. So this is called the precious courage bodhisattva. Because I have the prajna light, I'm not afraid of anything. My recent book, number 293, I'm writing about the ghosts at my house. When visitors come to my house, they wouldn't be able to see the ghosts because they're all in hiding. It's no use to show to you because you're not able to see them. After the visitors leave, they all come out. They are not afraid of me because I will not harm them. I don't even want to harm the evil ghost, like the ghosts from the Ghost Witch. I don't want to harm them either. But Akalanata and Mahabala all took care of them and chopped off their heads. If it had been me, I wouldn't have harmed them, even the evil spirits, because they are sentient beings too, and they have Buddha nature too. It's just they are not awakened yet. They are enshrouded by their evil intent. That's why we shouldn't harm any single thing. The next one is the precious view bodhisattva. So view or sight. So this precious view bodhisattva can see the prajna light and the Dharma treasures of the Buddha. So in the school, we often capture the prajna light when we take pictures, circles of lights. Don't undermine them because there are mandalas inside the tiny prajna light. When you enlarge them, there are red threads and altar inside it, and there is a bodhisattva in each of the prajna lights. So when you capture prajna light, enlarge it, and you would be able to see there are city walls and pavilions, palaces, and with 4 gates. And at the center there is an altar, and on it sit a bodhisattva. So what is this precious view Bodhisattva? Is the Bodhisattva that can encounter the Tathagata. So the store of the Tathagata. So in our study of the middle way, there is a Buddhist scholar from China called Li Chen. He talked about Madhyamaka and Yogacara. And he said, Madhyamaka is actually Yogacara. There are no differences between the two. That Madhyamaka is the middle path between emptiness and falsehood. So the so-called Madhyamaka is deep, and the so-called Yogacara is broad. That everything, the consciousness only of everything. So actually, Yogacara and Madhyamaka are the same. For many Buddhists of the past, they criticize each other. The Madhyamaka people criticize Yogacara and vice versa. But Li Chen stated that Madhyamaka is also Yogacara, is also a kind of Yogacara. So it's something that they arrive at from emptiness and falsehood. So that's why it's called the middle way. And Yogacara is that everything is related to consciousness. That everything is related to consciousness. The eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, they're all consciousness. Eye consciousness, ear consciousness, nose consciousness. So what you see is due to the eye consciousness, what you hear is due to the ear consciousness, and what you smell is due to the nose consciousness. And then there's body consciousness and mind consciousness, and the root of mind consciousness. And the last one, the eighth consciousness, is alaya. And then when you go deeper, it's called the immaculate or amala consciousness. In Tantrayana, it's called the amala consciousness. That's the highest. So the eighth consciousness is called alaya, and then further is the ninth consciousness, and then when you go even further is the 10th consciousness, ambalu. So everything is related to consciousness. If you can comprehend this and you have seen this, then you would be the precious view Bodhisattva. This was spoken by Li Chen. So that Madhyamaka is actually Yogacara. Therefore, Madhyamaka should not criticize Yogacara, and Yogacara should not criticize Madhyamaka either. But Tantrayana mostly talks about Madhyamaka. So therefore, most tantric traditions follows the Sautantrika Madhyamaka or Prasangika Madhyamaka. Like the Tang, the Xuan Zang, the great monk of the monk Tang, China, at the Tzu-En temple, the Big Goose Pagoda, at the Sun and Moon Lake, we also have a Tzu-En pagoda, right? So we have the Sarira of Xuan Zang. right? At the Sun and Moon Lake. And Shen Ching translated many books, many Buddhist books, and also Channa and Chen Ching, and also I Ching. So this is from reading Li Chen's book. So I know what he said makes a lot of sense, that Madhyamaka and Yogacara should not be differentiated. So criticism that happens between the two traditions is not right, because they are actually the same thing. So if you can see the real consciousness and to understand the finest, the most subtle, the most sublime of consciousness of Buddha Dharma, if you can comprehend all those, then such a bodhisattva is the precious view bodhisattva. So he can see all the prajna, the true wisdom. And the Madhyamaka is used, the Yogacara. So that's why to truly understand Buddha Dharma is really not easy. It's deep and broad and subtle and marvelous and sublime. So to understand all this thing, you have to listen to the teaching of the teacher and to read many books. So the great Master Shen Ching studied or learned Yogacara. So for the true Yogacara, you should read which sutra? Anybody can say that? It's called Zhuangyan Jing, translated by the great Master Xuan Zhuang, Yogacara Bhumi Sastra. I think. Check on the internet. It's written by Li Cheng. Anybody has read his book? It's all in ancient Chinese. Good thing that I have good linguistic foundation. I think many people would not be able to understand his book. Zhuangyan 大圣庄严经论，没错，这个是专门讲唯识。The Madhyamaka Vyuha Sutra that especially talk about Yogacara. So who is the author of this sutra? Some people say Asanga, some people say Maitreya, but it's okay because Asanga learned from Maitreya. So Maitreya is the guru or the teacher of Asanga Bodhisattva. So you can say either way to be the author. Because this thing was transmitted by Maitreya to Asanga and his brother Vasubandhu. Vasubandhu Bodhisattva and Asanga Bodhisattva. And Nagarjuna Bodhisattva is with Aryadeva. That's guru and disciple. And Asanga and Vasubandhu were brothers. And Asanga and Vasubandhu authored Yogacara scriptures, and Nagarjuna and Aryadeva authored the Madhyamaka scriptures. So you need to understand this in your Buddhist studies. So if you can understand Yogacara and Madhyamaka, and then you can use them to teach sentient beings, then you would be called the precious view Bodhisattva. This is joke. There's nothing too hard in this world as long as you give up. The second one is live on. There's always a new challenges, new strikes every day. And you need to be diligent and to know that you're helpless. And then anything that can be solved by money, I cannot resolve. And that working hard doesn't necessarily mean success, but if you don't work hard, then you just relax. Then wherever you fall, you just lay there. And the seventh, if you eat until you're round enough, then nobody will look down on you. This is not appropriate for us Buddhists. Om Mani Padme Hum.